Hey guys, so what you are seeing here are actually two components. We have the spawn component and we have the names component. First of all, I want to talk about the names component, pretty simple one. And in the next tutorial, I'm going to talk about the spawn component. I think it's clearer if we separate them. It's a cool example here, and I will talk about how all of this is working. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to separate them. So the first thing we want to talk about is not the spawner here, but the actual names component. So let's move this out of sight so we will not be distracted and create a new actor. Let's drop it here. And of course, let's add our component name and hit compile. Let's remove all of them here and add our event name state changed. And this, as I said, is really pretty simple. We have again our source info and we have a name. So this component is only there to handle names, whatever you want to do with them next. But for the sake of this tutorial, let's keep it simple and add a text renderer. And what we want to do is we want to set the text to the name. Every time this is changed. So let's connect them. So very simple example here. Of course, we need to connect it to something. In this case, we are going to use this slider here because the slider is already giving us different names. And I'm going to show you how he's doing it. But first of all, we need to add our text again. So this is our component name text. I'm going to copy it, hit compile. And I'm open my drag component here. And by the way, if you have watched all previous tutorials, I'm sure you already can see what I'm doing here because it's always the same. But in my opinion, this is one of the strengths of our new core framework because everything is now working with the same structures, the same principles. So you only have to learn it once and you can adapt it to all your different settings. Okay, let's add this actor. Add it here. And also add the component tag I want to change. And now they are connected and should already work. So let's try it out. First of all, it's none. That's totally fine because this here is also none. Let's drag it to cube. Small cube, pyramid, rectangle, large cube, and ball. Perfect. If we have a look at the settings, you can see we have available names. And we have the possibility to search for the next name or the previous name. Right now, if I press it, nothing happens because I don't have any available names in here. I can define different names, but in this case, it was not necessary because I get the names from the slider here. But if I want to have, for example, the same names, I can put something like ball. Oh no, actually, let's just can copy it from our spawner because the spawner already has this list here. So it's the same list we used for the slider here. I'm going to copy it and paste it in there. So now I have all these 6 different names, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I can go to the next name and he will just cycle through this array. Another thing we can do, and we are doing this in the spawner, is we can of course not only set a text, but we can make something happen in this case. So we can use a switch on name. And let's add some names here. So for example, I want to have the rectangle So in this case, only something happens if the active name changes to rectangle. And of course, you know me, I'm going to spawn an explosion. Let's quickly get our location and we are good to go. So nothing should actually explode until we change it to our rectangle. So nothing is happening here. But as soon as we go to rectangle, there was the explosion. And this will trigger every time. Every time the name changes to rectangle now, I get my nice little explosion. And of course, you can do it with all other names you want to have in there. You can just add multiple pins here. So you can also add something like the ball and let something different happen if the slider goes to the ball name. And this is exactly what we are doing in the spawner. But as I said, this will be a separate tutorial. And for the sake of this tutorial, with the component name, we are good to go. So I'm going to see you in the next tutorial where I'm going to talk about the spawner. It's kind of related, so you might want to check it out directly now. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next tutorial. Bye.